everyone. I'm sorry I didn't have any time for a video yesterday, but I had a hearing test in the morning and my friend's 80th birthday party in the afternoon, so the time just went yesterday. However, it is now imperative that I do a card for Cleo because her birthday is on the 4th of August and we have bought her a bike. So I knew I had a bike die somewhere or other, and I found one, and it's not actually very far off looking like the bike that we've bought for her. It's got a little one of these jobs on the back to put stuff on, and on the front there's one of these things, but she's got like a little basket. And I thought, what can I do to make a little basket? And I looked through my dies and I found this cupcake. And I thought that's going to be perfect because I can cut the top off and that little thing there will fit and it will look pretty much like the basket on the front of her bike. So I'm just going to cut this out and I can show you what I mean. I have cut some of the other things out. I've cut 2 frames of the bike. At least I did have 2. Are they both together? Yes. To make it a bit more robust. And I've cut 4 wheels. What I intend doing with the wheels is colouring the tyres separately from the spokes, cutting the tyres off and then sticking them on the top, if you know what I mean. So this is my basket for the front. So I just need, well, I won't cut that off yet. I'll colour it first. And the basket it's kind of a deepish brown. So I've picked this colour for the saddle and the handlebar grips. I've tried to keep it, you know, close to the colour that the bike is. The bike is this kind of colour, sort of a, what's it called on here? That's called a jade green. Whether it's jade green or not, but it's kind of that sort of colour. So I'm just going to try and keep everything sort of sympathetic. So I'll do that all over with that first of all, and then deepen it up in places with this one. It is quite a dark brown, this basket, but just leave a little bit of light coloured showing. Now I can cut the top off. Would that be fair? Will I lose it before I need to use it? It's asking a lot of me, isn't it, really? Let's just cut this bit off. There's only a little bit to nip each end, because the middle is actually already separate. There we go. Put that on there. Looks just like the little basket. Look, it even fits the angle of the... That's crazy. It even fits the angle of the handlebars and the shelfie thing. Okay, let me just stick these 2 together. Let's get a bit of silicone to work on. I'll use my dabber thing, I think. Somebody said to me, and I've seen it, it's true, Natalie Bowers was the one who thought of this. I think it's a brilliant idea. A pastry brush, you know, a baster, with its bristles cut short, and then you just use it with a bit of craft glue and it just dabs colour onto delicate things. It's a brilliant idea. And Simon Says Stamp are now selling brushes and telling you to cut the bristles off. It's amazing, isn't it? She's gone global. Wonderful. All right, just pick up some glue on the tips. Can you see? You get like little dots of glue on the end of each of these, and you can just go like this. And little dots will go all over everywhere. And then you can just get another one and stick it on the top. It's such a good idea. Look at that. That is so much easier than trying to go around with, you know, a precision tip or anything else, really. So I'm going to try and do a bit of... Let's do these things. I was all set to do the tyres black. And then I had another look, and the tyres a kind of a beigey sort of colour. So I'm going to do this colour. This is WG01, warm grey 01. So this is the colour of the wheel, of the tyres. So we'll colour a couple of tyres. Then I'll cut these off and stick them onto the middles, which will be kind of silver. Okay, there's my tyres. We've got to be authentic, haven't we? You know, we've really got to be authentic. Let's do these. Let's do these two silver. I've got a silver pen here. Any kind of silver pen will do, I guess, really. So she's got silver spokes. Oops. I've also got a silver mat, haven't I? Let's colour in the spokes. Okay. Now I want to cut these off. So I've just got the tyres. Seems to be going around for a long time then. There we go. Now, just turn this over and we'll put some glue on the back of this. Okay. Pair of tweezers. Pick it up and pop it onto one of these. And there we've got a wheel. That does look quite authentic actually for this particular bike. So I'll just go ahead now and do the same for the other wheel. Okay, that's the other wheel stuck on. Right, now I need to colour the frame. So the saddle and the grips of the handlebars are this sort of tanny sort of colour. Like that. Good. I'm just trying to think what colour the pedals are. I don't know what colour the pedals are. I'll do this colour, and if they're black I can go over it, but I can't go over black with this colour, so let's just, I can only see one pedal, we'll do that. It might be this colour, might not, I can't remember. I think pretty much. Now, the frame is this kind of greeny colour, so we're going to have the mud guards are going to be green. This thing at the top here is going to be green. And I think the frame is green as well. Yes, it is. And the mud guard cover. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is all pretty much green. The front bit of the handlebars is silver, down to about there, I think. If it's wrong, I'll put it down to artistic license. Do you know, when I went to have my hearing tested yesterday, I went because I felt that my hearing must have deteriorated considerably. I have to have subtitles on to listen or watch the TV because I can't understand whether people, I think people mumble, to be honest. I don't think it's just my ears. I think people mumble. But I went and saw the audiologist, and it was a different one from the one I have seen previously. He did the test and, you know, he said, well, your hearing hasn't changed enormously since the last test. He says, let's have a look at these hearing aids. But they weren't calibrated properly. And when he sort of finished messing about with the computer and goodness knows what, he said, how does that sound? I thought, crikey, it's so loud. It sounded really tinny. I could hear all the creaks. I touched my hair and the noise was amazing. He said, you will get used to that and it will get better. If it's too much, come back and, you know, we'll sort you out. But what a difference. But now I can't attach it, you know, to my phone to make it... So so I can raise volume or, you know, change venue sort of thing, because sometimes you go into a restaurant and there's all this kerfuffle of babble of sounds, but hopefully I'll get on with it well. Anyway, so look, this is pretty cool, isn't it? Here's a little bike. It looks kind of like a bike. There isn't anything on the back at the minute. Look at that. Do you know, I'm pleased with that. That's good fun. Now, I have the question of what to do with it. Now I've got it. I've got to make it into a card. I looked through my dies and I found this birthday die with its shadow. And I thought it might be nice if it said Cleo's 9th birthday rather than just Cleo and 9. So I chose a font that was similar to this. It's a bit skinnier, but with its shadow, it probably won't look too dissimilar. Here's the 9th. Let's just get these off here. There's the shadow, and here is the actual writing for the 9th. Let's see if I can get it out. There we go. Come this way, please. There we go. So that's for that. It's not quite the same. Perhaps I'll put that at the bottom and put the bike in between so they don't look quite so obvious. Perhaps we can put the bike going over a few bumps on the birthday word. Oh, it's upside down. So the question is, what do I do about colour for these? And I'm thinking I will still stick with doing the jade green for the main body of the writing. What do I do about the background bit? Perhaps I'll do it with the tire colour. Not really sure. So let me just colour these bits. Here's a bit of silicone. It's just practically the same colour as that, isn't it? Let's just do these. I was just wondering about doing that in this. Let's just try it and see. I'm going to put some twinkle on anyway, but use this as the backdrop. Won't see too much of it. Let's try it with one. If I don't like it, I can just cut some more. Change the size, all the rest of it. Let's just do that writing. This jade green as well. Notice that the letters are all higgledy-piggledy, you know, they're all joined to each other at different places. So I did that with this as well, just separated all the letters out and then moved them so that they could sort of join. Often something that's got a serif like this is ideal for joining together. Let's see what that looks like over the top of that. Might be a bit sophisticated for a 9-year-old. Oh, don't know. Let me put some twinkle on this and then we'll see how we feel. Got to put some glue on there. Let's just try the twinkle. Get some tweezers. Oh, look at that. Whoa. Cleo does like a bit of twinkle. Cleo's. Let's do the 9th and see what we think. When it's all done, it might look might look all right. Let's just take that bit out. I didn't take notice of the fact that this shadow at the back hasn't got the bits cut out like the one I did myself, but never mind, we'll just see how we go. Let's do the shadow bit first. I do like limiting colours when I do cards, but I also like to think of the recipient. And my little friend is, she's more into pink and purple than she is into beige and green, but still, never mind. We'll just say, I'm just trying to keep in the same colours as the bike. Okay. Now, the birthday, I'm going to have to do a lot of colouring on the back one. I love how in this one they've managed to stick the tittle from the eye to the serif of the R. I think that's clever. Just have to remember that one. Now we'll add some twinkle. There we go. Now, what do I think? I think we'll have a panel on there. Just wondering whether we need to put any dry embossing on it or something like that. I will join these to their backdrops, and then we'll see about how we're going to mount them. So I think I'll just do a regular panel. Just press that down a moment. Make sure everything's stuck down. Makes a difference without the holes in the middle, doesn't it? That's a bit more vibrant than this one. Never mind. Let me just cut a card panel. Right, here's my panel, but do I do anything with it? Is there... Oops, that's not stuck. Let's put a bit of glue on that corner there. There we go. I have put some shimmer pen on the bike, so it's not absolutely flat in comparison with the rest of this. I'm just wondering whether to put perhaps a balloon or something coming up from here. Let's cut these out. Got a bit of scrap. I found a balloon and a thread. This thread is actually a die from an old die from Memory Box that is supposed to be the thread for a needle. I've got a needle, but I've very scarcely used it as a needle. I've used it so many times as a string for jingle bells or balloons or bunting, all sorts of things, but not very often as actual sewing thread. So just pop them onto the magnet for a moment. There's my balloon. Here's my cord. I think we'll have the same two colours. We'll have, this can be the beige and the balloon can be the jade green. There's the balloon. I think that can have a bit of twinkle on it as well. Feeling generous. Put extra colour on one side just to give it a bit of definition. That's the idea anyway. So pop this into the glitter. There we go. So let's have a look at positioning. I'm not going to put any twinkle on the string. I think that's what I'll do. cut this top bit off. And have that as though that's the tie on the balloon. Do you see what I mean? Like that. So it looks like that's the tied bit, and it can just kind of float then. Right, that's decided. Cleo's 9th. I was thinking of having a bit of embossing on there, but I think that balloon will do instead. Cleo's 9th. Put the bike in there. And the balloon in there somewhere. That would be all right. That would be all right. Okay, right, I think we're getting there. Right, glue on these. About there. Now this will need just a little bit of won't need it on all the way along. Let's get should probably have shaped that balloon a little bit, and I didn't. Never mind. Didn't think about it in time. Make it a bit rounded. I think I'll put a tiny piece of foam tape in behind it. Right, I'm going to put this on foam tape too, and then at last we will be done. Goodness, took me a long time today, it seems, with interruptions. Pleasant interruptions. That was my friend who came to the door. She actually came to bring me my birthday present, because we will be off tomorrow. There will probably won't be a video tomorrow, I don't suppose, and we won't be back until Monday evening, I think. So lots of fun to be had. There we go. Colour schemes determined by the colours on her bike. So hope she doesn't mind that it's not purple and pink and all the rest of it. So happy birthday to Cleo on the 4th of August. She's got a wonderful date of birth. Her date of birth is 4/8/16. So easy to remember. So there we go. If you haven't subscribed, I would be really grateful. Numbers kind of seem to fluctuate, and YouTube in its wisdom seems to unsubscribe some people unbeknownst to them. So if you could just check now and again to make sure you are still subscribed, that would be great. And to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, because it's absolutely free, and it does help creators incredibly, because I think YouTube will distribute them and pop them up in feeds of more people, the more people who do click the thumbs up. As I was editing this video, I kept looking at this, and I thought, that with this looks dreadful. I thought, I'm going to have to do something about it. So it was stuck like you would not believe. But I pulled it off. But I got a dreadful mess underneath. So I went to my computer again, And I thought I will make myself a birthday a bit like that one, but it'll match this. So I did the birthday and I did the offset with the holes, as that one is. But then, of course, these holes would have shown through all the rubbish where I pulled that off. So what I did, I wondered about tracing this, but then I just got a rubber and rubbed out all the middle bits of these and then cut it out again so that I've got that. And it'll look like it's actually sitting on this bit of card, not actually over the rubbishy bit. So I'm just going to stick that onto this, stick those two pieces together and stick them on, because I really couldn't live with it. The more I looked at it, I thought, I hate it. So it was bothering me. So I'll just stick these together. I'll stick that on the top and I'll take a photograph and you can see. I'll put the two side by side at the end of the video. So the conscience had the better of me. I had to do something about it. So I hope you'll agree it was the right thing to do.